Well, good morning from Bell Hill Farms. Today's adventure is going to be making saag paneer. It's an Indian dish that typically is made with spinach and paneer cheese. I made some paneer cheese last week, and so I could do it with spinach, but I read recently that you can also do it with stinging nettle. I know that sounds a little odd, but I'll walk you through the whole thing with me today. Actually, uh, it's supposed to taste like spinach, and one of the things, the points of being on this farm, is trying to learn how to work with things on the farm, off the land. We don't have any spinach yet. We could go buy some, but we've got some free stinging nettle growing right here. So I'm going to take advantage of that, clip some, and head into the kitchen to try some Indian cooking. Plenty of good stinging nettle sitting here. This is the former compost, or it's breaking down into compost. And while it's doing that, it's producing a lot of these little stinging nettles. Uh, Better to get them when they're short and young, especially when they have this purple stripe going up. That means they're younger. You want to clip the top leaves off. And most importantly, of course, you want to be careful because they have little needles. I don't know if you can see them. There you go. You can see the needles there. And that pretty much feels like a jellyfish sting. All you have to do is rub up against it. You don't have to do a whole lot, and that venom gets in you. So I've got gloves here and a plastic bag, and I'm going to do it as delicately as possible so I don't get stung in the process. I do have an audience here for my gathering. The goats are checking everything out here, making a lot of noise behind me. My method for clipping stinging nettle is simply to get a plastic bag like this with my gloves. I take the scissors and I hold the bag directly below the nettle, and then I clip off just the leaves. That way I've got as little stinger as possible when I get them into the kitchen, and so far so good. I get stung every once in a while, but I'm getting used to it now. All right, well, I'm going to call that good. That should be enough to work with the saag paneer. So I've got the paneer out here. I made this obviously April 1st, and it's settled, and now I'm going to go ahead and chop it up on the cutting board and brown it originally in some spices, and that'll be our first step. I've got the paneer cheese chopped up, and I'm getting the pan ready for, I'm going to saute a little bit of it first. I'm going to put in some turmeric here and some chili powder. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to get that warmed up, and then go ahead and add the paneer, saute it a little bit, set it aside, and then grill up my vegetables like onion and garlic. The nice thing about paneer is it's kind of like tofu. It takes on the taste of whatever you put it in. So in this case, like I said, I'm going to just saute it with some spices first, let it absorb some of that flavor, and then I'm just going to put it aside, and then I'll add the other vegetables that I'll cook in what's left over from the paneer cooking. One of the nice things about paneer is it doesn't melt, so even though it's cheese, it doesn't melt after you've cured it. So anyway, that's what allows you to make this dish with the cheese staying cubed like that. Okay, now that that's nice and brown, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the plate. Hopefully that goes pretty easily here. I can only do this thing one-handed since I've got to do the video at the same time. So you can scrape that up. Oh yeah, anything left on the bottom there is going to be great for the food. So no problem there. All right, let's see if that works better. Oh yeah. Okay, time to grill some vegetables. Okay, now it's time for some freshly chopped garlic. You can never have enough garlic. At least that's my feeling, and the feeling of the household here too. We're just about an hour from Gilroy, which is famous for the Gilroy Garlic Festival. So there's always plenty of garlic around. Let's see, we're going to add a teaspoon of ground ginger. Let's see, I'm going to do it this way since the spoon's dirty. 2 half teaspoons. One. And yeah, just so you know, I'm the same way with my baking. Just kind of eyeball it and say, oh, it's good enough. I mean, I don't know. In a way, I don't feel like you can ever have too many spices. So anyway, I'll let that simmer for a little bit, and then I'll add the other things back in. Alright, next step is to take the stinging nettle, which I've washed. It should be fairly safe now that I have just the stems, but you know, I still wouldn't chance it. I'm going to go ahead and pour that into the boiling water and let that sit for just a couple minutes. Make those leaves come out. Anyway, I'm just going to let that boil for a bit. Using tongs, obviously, just keep my fingers away from it. Now, one of the cool things about doing this is that we're going to be able to have, when this is done, I'm going to strain the stinging nettle, but I'll have the water that I'll leave behind, and that I can use for stinging nettle tea. So I understand it has nutritional value, good for erectile dysfunction. No, that's not really true. Don't tell anybody that. I just figured I could get a lot more hits on this video if I said those words. So anyway, I got to keep just boil these just a little bit, and then I'll press the water out, and I can add them to my sautéed vegetables. All right, so I've boiled it, strained it, get most of the water out, and then of course the water, like I said, the water you have left, you can go ahead and use as stinging nettle tea now. And I'm going to press the spinach. Looks like spinach, tastes like spinach. I'm going to press this out and add it into my vegetables. All right, so I've got this strained and dried, and I'm going to go ahead and add it to the pan as best as possible. You know, like spinach, it really breaks down to a much smaller amount than you choose, so you definitely need a lot more than you think you do. I may have just made it today. So once you get this stinging net on there, you just mix it up a little bit, just like you would spinach. Doesn't need to cook a whole lot. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil. A little bit more olive oil. Okay. Stir that in. And then I think we're ready for the paneer. One of the things you want to make sure is you scrape up all that charred stuff on the bottom. That's all going to add flavor. You can even add a little wine to help scrape it off the bottom. And then we'll be about ready. Okay, I added the wine, stirred it up a little bit, and got it all heated up evenly, maybe about 3 to 5 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the plate. And there we go, saag paneer, at least Tom's version of it, or White Boy's version of it. Go enjoy my meal.